The American dream is a prevalent idea in our society and culture. On food packaging and magazine covers, on Wall Street and Main Street. In screenplays and scholarly articles, one can find ideas about what American is and what contributes to the American dream. Sometimes the idea is well defined, other times not so much. The Economist mentioned the American dream in its recent report on American competitiveness. Clearly, its authors believe that the American dream is somehow linked to the competitiveness of the U.S. economy. According to the Kiefer bottle that sits on my breakfast table at home, the American dream is immigration and success in building a business. In 2006, the Center for American Progress reported the elements of the American dream to include mobility, progress, strength, justice, and freedom. Many Pew Research projects have been designed to find out what different groups mean by and how they think about the American dream. This has been done through asking questions about family, work, and social mobility. One of the ideas found central to the American dream by Pew is the expectation that each new generation will surpass their parents. With such a wide variety of ideas about what makes up the American dream, I was left wondering, how is the American dream manifested in the people I live with? How do these different ideas about the American dream interact? With these questions in mind, I gathered a number of family members and friends and asked them, what is the American dream?
My name is Randy Pruim. I'm 47 years old. I currently work as a professor of mathematics and statistics, and so I'm part of the comfortable middle class.
I'm Penny Lynn Dykstra Pruim, and I'm Asian American. I'm 46 years old, and I currently teach German language and culture at Calvin College.
My name is Ruth Dykstra. I'm 82 years old, and I am Caucasian, Dutch background.
My name is Jay Pruim, and I am 70 years old. I was born in Chicago, Illinois, and I grew up in the Chicago area.
My name is Bev Primes, and I am a 71-year-old middle-class woman.
My name is Joshua Wright. I am from Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. I am 18 years old.
My name is Audrey Baker. I'm 21 years old. I am of European descent, just a mix. So I'm white, Caucasian. I'm Dutch, Danish, probably German, and either English. We know my great-grandpa Baker was Irish.
The American dream for some people could be very different depending on maybe the family you grew up in or the culture you grew up in or the time of history you grew up in. I really don't think of things in terms of American dream. I think I grew up with goals of the world and life view of everything I do has pertaining to bringing glory to God.
I think there is the ideal or the idea of an American dream. And I think it has to do with being able to realize your potential.
And so part of the American dream is to see your children be well educated and succeed in whatever occupation or field they choose.
So when I think of the American dream, I think of this idea that people can do better than their original situation might have indicated they could have done. So by hard work or by education or by luck or by something, people have this idea that if you're in the United States, you have a chance to better yourself.
I think the American dream perhaps changes as you grow older. And so for young people, perhaps the American dream would be to own their own home and own their own car or two. And then as people grow older, perhaps the American dream in retirement would be able to do travel and enjoy leisure.
Some people want a family because that is part of the American dream. 2.5 kids and half a dog, I think is what the statistic is.
I picture it basically from the 60s, honestly. That's what my mind goes back to. Classic white picket fence and nice house and nice little yard with a tree in the front and it's just this young couple and their little kids.
Because for some people that's a big thing. You want to live in suburbia and you want to have the minivan and the kids and take them to soccer practice because you're a stay-at-home mom and that's what happens, and your husband is the only person who works.
Work-wise, so the husband drives to work every day, commutes, comes home every day, to a loving wife, and like they have dinner together, and it's just like happy family. That's my image of the American dream anyway.
What are my dreams now for the future? I think it is just to be a prayer warrior, to pray for those, because at this stage in life you don't have a lot of energy anymore. So the main thing would be to pray for those that are going forth, because our main goal is to tell the story of Jesus Christ all over the world.
A lot of the stories that come to my mind are immigrant stories, so people that either were first or second generation Americans, started out poor, struggling with the language, parents who came over from a foreign country, worked hard, put their kids in school, their kids had better jobs than they had, did better economically than they did, and by the third generation they were part of the traditional American story.
I always think of manifest destiny, of like the moving out west, and we have to conquer the west, we have to conquer the Native Americans, or like I'm from Colorado, so like a big part of our history is the miners coming out and seeking their fortune, and anybody could make it big.
If I think people are talking about the American dream, I think of them as looking for a way to become successful financially, make a go on their own, being independent.
I would define being successful as being happy in what you are doing and accomplishing your goals.
I think success is doing what you like to do in a way that meets your needs and lets you live a reasonable life.
Success is a measure of contentment with the quality of life that I have given the circumstances.
Well, I think there's a lot of pressure to be successful in your career, to be successful by making a lot of money.
Like lots of money, lots of friends, you know, being well known, being popular is not true success. To me, true success, and my definition of success, is living to the fullest for my Creator and for my Savior.
I think success means leaving a legacy. From what I have seen from when people pass away, it seems like it didn't really matter. Like their things that they had accumulated during their life didn't matter, because obviously you can't take it with you. So to me it seems like the American dream is to be able to leave a legacy of one where people think well of you.
It's little successes all along the road. In all of life you have choices to make, and success comes knowing that you can encourage people and love them and be a help along the way.
One idea that is often linked with success is the idea of working hard. One Pew study found that nearly 3/4 of Muslims, or 74%, continue to express faith in the American dream, saying that most people who want to get ahead can make it if they're willing to work hard. This is an important statistic because only 62% of the American public overall say that most people can get ahead if they're willing to work hard. This bit of information drove me to ask, what is the relationship between hard work and success? And do you think people can be successful by working hard?
I think there's still an idea in the United States that most people think that most people get what they deserve. I think if you push them on it, they'll often say that that's not actually true, but that's part of this American dream story. The people who work hard get ahead and do well.
Can you be successful through hard work? I would say so. I think anything takes hard work, whether that's getting a lot of money or whether that's trying to impact a lot of people's lives. It is going to take hard work because it takes commitment and dedication.
I think they can get ahead by doing hard work, and they might be successful according to their definition of success. Does not necessarily mean that they're going to be happier.
I think it's a key motivator in our society, definitely. But also it can kind of hold a bad stigma, because a lot of people like think if you're not like obtaining that idealized, like stereotypical American dream, you're doing something wrong. And I don't think that's accurate.
Can people move up the social ladder? From socioeconomics, if they want to move up the ladder that way in America, from the way all of our systems are, I would say it's very hard. Even though we don't say we have social classes, they're pretty rigidly just cemented in our culture, and it's hard to move out of the class that you're in.
I would like to think people can move up the social ladder through hard work. However, I feel like that can be a very almost like a naive thought, not worthless. Like it's definitely necessary, but I still feel like in order to have success in like the economic / like what our world sees as success, you need like I don't know, a little bit of luck or something.
One Pew study found that immigrants of Hispanic and Latino origins see family ties as weaker in the U.S. than in their countries of origin. This made me ask the question, how do people that I live with see their family ties? What role does family play in the American dream?
In the American dream, family plays a very central role, and it's definitely part of my American dream.
I think family is the context in which most of us live out our lives. So if you've got the type of family context that allows you to work hard and see the fruits of that labor, then you're going to be more successful and you're going to feel like you can buy into the American dream more.
I think there's a strong family component to the American dream, this idea that each generation will do a little bit better than the generation before, parents sacrificing so children can do better in the future. One indicator, perhaps, that a family has achieved the American dream is that they're no longer sacrificing in one generation in hopes that the next generation will do better than they are doing.
I think that parents influence their children in terms of what they consider to be a success.
If children don't learn what it means to be responsible for their actions, for responsibilities that they have given to them by their parents, if they don't learn that, they're not going to learn to be successful in the world. That's how I feel.
I think that my children and grandchildren are shaped by my actions because sometimes I see them say things and do things and the way they make decisions, and I think, that's just the way I would have done it.
Certainly, if you go back to the immigrant stories, there often was a strong role for the community. Interestingly, there's also a part of the American dream that's very individualistic. This idea that your hard work will get you ahead, and anybody can do it on their own. And this back and forth between needing community and wanting to be independent is an interesting part of the American dream.
I think a community can play a really important role in the American dream because inside that community we feel affirmed, we can contribute, and we can receive as well. So if we're trying to be successful, however we define that, if we're trying to consider what are my possibilities for the future, what could I do, what do I want to do, it's the community that really is usually the backdrop where we see ourselves in the future.
I don't know if community is a huge part of the American dream today. So the American dream is you go out and you do what you want to do to get whatever your goal is. And generally people don't include community with that. It is just, I have to do this for myself, it's all up to me. And there's no support, there's no even really acknowledging other people.
A community is a place where people are encouraged, where people are surrounded with support. And so I think the community that surrounds you, whether it's family, church, neighborhood, is real important to the development of the person as a whole.
I think that being plugged into your church is a huge aspect of my American dream, and creating community there and creating community in them. We're all searching for the same goal, to glorify our Creator and to worship Him.
This concept of the American dream isn't just for America. This phrase actually gets used in other cultures too, and it's not called the German dream or the Ugandan dream. It's in those cultures too. They refer to the American dream because there's something about this idea that you can consider several different possible futures for yourself. Through hard work, persistence, and the will, you have a chance. You have a chance to reach that dream and to become that person that you want to be.
Everybody wants something different for their lives, it's not like we all want exactly the same thing. And if it was, life would be boring. We'd all be the same person now, and that's not how God created us.